Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, I'm ScrapMan, bringing you another episode of Trailmakers, and today we're going to try to turn this drift car from a mediocre, not-so-great, disappointing drift car to the drift car of our dreams, using your feedback from the last episode where I actually built the drift car and tried to test it out. So I was reading a lot of your comments, and a lot of you had different suggestions, different ideas, some of them conflicting: add more weight in the back, add more weight in the front, put suspension, don't put suspension, all kinds of crazy ideas. So I thought it might be fun to do a follow-up episode because you guys really seem to enjoy the drift car concept, and since it didn't really work out as well as I'd hoped, why don't we go through your comments on the video and try them out in the moment and see what kind of differences we can make on this thing. Now, if you missed the initial video, go ahead and check that out first, because that'll catch you up to speed on how this whole thing got built and what happened. And that way you can compare the results of this video to the results of that video. So let's head over to that video and start scrolling through the comments and see what we find. All right, here's the video, the futuristic car of your nightmares. Now, I named it that because it was a nightmare to try to drift in this thing. All right, so scrolling down to the comments. Oh, wait a minute, ScrapMan actually has some merchandise. You know what? I actually bought some merch from ScrapMan myself. So, that's how handy having this right here. Let's continue on our way down then. Okay, so Alexander Ranny here says, we should have put the suspension back after we added the spoiler. So you may remember from the previous video that I started with suspension, but whenever we turned, we were almost gonna tip over. But then I added the spoiler in the back, and that kind of solved the tipping over issue, but I never put the suspension back in after taking it out. So let's go ahead and jump back in here, and let's experiment with it. Let's see what happens if we put the suspension back in here. The trouble is, are we even gonna be able to fit the suspension in here? Or you know what? I remember seeing some other comments too that we should have a wider wheelbase. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to have the wheels stick out a little bit. So we'll increase the wheelbase by 1 block on either side, and this will also allow us to have some room for more room for suspension in here. Now, there's 2 ways I could do the suspension. I could just put the suspension and keep the wheels where they are, but then the wheels may not have the ability to compress, but actually that might not be an issue. I think the wheels don't have collisions with the vehicle that they are attached to. So we might be able to do that. But the other option is have the wheels down and then have the suspension compress the wheels into the spot with like kind of like a low stiffness. But as far as I've heard from the comments, high stiffness is the kind of suspension that drift cars have. So we'll play around with it and see what happens. All right, so this suspension actually fits perfectly right there. The question is, does the front suspension fit just as perfectly? All right, so we have an issue right now where the front suspension is 1 block too low, but what? Is it this that is preventing it? All right, it is this one right here. So actually, if I delete that, I can move the suspension up, and then I can put this block back, and I think that attaches the suspension while keeping everything in place. Okay, that works. All right, and then I do the same thing on this side, and I think we have suspension with our wheels being kind of in the same spot, just a little bit wider. And I think it actually looks even cooler with the wheels sticking out just that little bit, which widens our wheelbase. So 2 changes have just been... Oh, that's not good. Oh, that's not good. Actually, with the suspension in the position that it's at, our wheel... We're dragging across the ground now, I'm pretty sure. That's not good. Oh, but we're literally flat on the ground. Here, let me put the stiffness all the way up, and we're gonna see if that might help a little bit. Otherwise, we may have to put the wheels down a little bit. And then that's just going to make it look weird. We're going to have all this ground clearance. All right, so the stiffness is all the way up now. I'm pretty sure we're still kind of dragging across the ground. But let's see how the wider wheelbase and the addition of suspension affects our drift capabilities. All right, so I'm going to go as fast as I can. We're going to turn as sharp as I can. And then we're going to do the wings to kick our back end out. All right, and... You know what? That doesn't really feel all that much different, unfortunately. And we literally... We cannot move on the ground. On the dirt, I mean. Look at this. That's crazy. All right, let's just respawn. All right, so now I'm going to experiment. Let's put the suspension or the wheels down so the suspension actually has the ability to compress. All right, there we go. So the suspension is still at max stiffness, but let's just see. I mean, that actually doesn't look as bad as I thought. This car looks pretty cool. It doesn't look like a drift car, that's for sure. It looks like an off-road car now. Check that out, though. That is really cool looking. All right, let's see. Let's see if this makes a difference. We're probably going to flip over now, though. Oh. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We're onto something here. The downwards force of the spoiler does prevent us from flipping now. That is way better. We are on to something. Oh. All right, you know, I'm just going to go the other way. There we go. All right, let's try it this way. That's not too bad. Here, let's try some donuts here. Look at this. All right, huge difference with the suspension, actually. All right, so let's keep taking your suggestions and piling them onto each other and see if we can come up with, like, the perfect ultimate drift car of our dreams, as the title of this video is hopefully going to reflect. All right, scrolling back through the comments, let's see what else we can have. All right, so here's one by Sage Red Gaming. This seems like just the equation for a drifty, slidey car. So downforce in the front, right now we have downforce in the back. Rear wheel drive, we do have rear wheel drive currently, and weight mostly in the back. So let's get back to our car. So what I'm gonna do then is delete all this weight I put in the front. Now we just gotta figure out how to put spoilers up in the front here. I don't know if I should put that spoiler in the back. We can try it with and without the back spoiler and see if it makes a difference. So let's see, can I put spoilers here without making it look weird? I'm gonna take that out, take that out, take that out. Actually, that's not so bad. But we have the issue of these blocks not being attached anymore. Oh, you know what? We can solve that by putting the curve pieces back in. Where are they? Yes, this curve, rounded curve right here. Actually, what if we put this in there? Does that look okay? That looks okay. All right, yeah, let's try that. All right, so now we have two downwards force spoilers right on the front there. It is sticking out the front a little bit, but unless, what if we were to have that gap in the middle, but we just move these back? So then it's sticking out of the sides just a little bit. I don't think that looks too bad, actually. Let's keep that. All right, there we go. That's not too bad looking. It's a little bit awkward in some areas, like these spots here I don't know what to do with, but aesthetics isn't really the primary concern right now. Right now, we're just more worried about experimenting with these changes. All right, but now our wheel wells are actually rounded, so that's kind of nice. These two changes that we've made now are we've taken away weight from the front, so now it's a lot heavier in the back than the front, rather than being more equal. And we've added downforce on the front wheels. We haven't taken downforce off the back wheels, so we will experiment with that once we start with this. All right, here we go. First turn. Oh, boy. Okay, so we actually seem to be more prone to... Oh, boy. I'm actually having a lot of trouble staying straight with this now. I don't think it's the downforce. I think it's the lack of weight in the front that's causing some issues right now. So hold on a sec. Let's keep experimenting here. All right. Yeah, so we're having a lot of trouble trying to keep our wheels on the ground. And also I noticed that it's really easy to get out of control and start fishtailing, which I guess is kind of what you want for a drift car. But yeah, so that's the issue right now, is the flipping. So what if instead of taking away weight from the front, we add weight to the back? So I'm going to take these and keep those in the front to keep our front end down. And then I'm going to double up the weight in the back and spread it out a little bit wider. All right, so we've added another 100 kilograms to the back. We're at 711 kilograms total. And we kept the 100 kilograms up in the front. So we'll see how that affects our flipping. All right, here we go. So now there's just more weight in the back. Whoa, look at that shaking. That was amazing. Oh boy. Okay, so we do have the issue of it's hard to stay straight now. Like the slightest turn makes it hard to get our grip back. So whoa, we have no grip anymore at all. We're on the dirt. All right, so I'm actually learning a lot by testing out all these different things from your suggestions, just in general about building the cars. It seems like more weight in the back definitely makes it much harder for just general stability of like on the straightaways. But as far, whoa, got a little bit lag there. But as far as the drifting goes, it feels so much better already. So now I'm going to experiment. I'm going to take off the back spoiler, see if that makes us more drifty, because now we're just going to have downforce in the front. All right, let's see what happens here. I don't know if that's all that noticeable of a difference. I really wish I could not have that gate there. All right, there. Uh-oh. Ooh. Whoa! Whoops. Okay, so my wings are still kind of what gets me into the drift, which was kind of like the whole concept from the first video. But I'm curious with this concept, if we can drift it all without using the wings. And let's see what it's like without wings. Will it drift naturally if the wings are not keeping our front end in a certain direction? Oh, okay. There's potential there. There's definitely potential there. All right, I'm liking this. I'm liking where this is going. Oh, yes. That was so far the best drift we had yet, because I was able to kick my back end out and then turn into the drift. So far, I haven't been able to turn into the drift without canceling it. But that time, if you watch my front wheels, let's see if we can actually get it going again. That time I was able to turn into it. All right, so let's kick the back end out, turn into it. Oh, yeah, it's hard to keep it going though. All right, so we're making progress. This is great. We're working together. Let's go back to the comments, see if there's any other modifications we can add on top of this. So Taekwondo Kid here actually says exactly what we've just done already. Put more weight in the back and take off the wing pieces, so he's onto something there. So what Lunar said here, this is actually a comment I got a handful of times, but it's something I'm going to avoid, although it probably would work. Says you could try a heavy reaction wheel in the middle of the car that spins whenever you press left or right, so the torque produces the drift for the whole car. So those spinning servos, we could use that to kind of turn our car side to side to help us drift. But to me, that's a little bit cheating. I want the car itself to do the work, not the servos or whatever. So that will probably definitely work, but I want this to be like as real of a drift car as we can get in Trailmakers, which isn't the easiest thing because there's no like handbrake equivalent in Trailmakers, which I know is pretty useful for getting into a drift. All right, Tropical Viking had a lot of advice here. So we've added suspension back. So this is a comment I've seen a handful of times and in different combinations. So he says to give the car 2 different types of tires, more grippy ones in front, and hope that the downforce is enough for it to recover. So some people were saying put the normal wheels in front and the racing wheels in the back. Some people were saying put the racing wheels on the front and put the normal wheels in the back. So why don't we try both and see how they affect the car? All right, so what makes the most sense to me is going to be dependent on the environment that we're at. I'm going to stick to the racetrack for now. So we want our back wheels to be able to slide out more. So the racing wheels have more grip on tarmac. So let's replace the back wheels with the normal traction wheels. All right, here we go. So we should have less traction in the back than in the front with this wheel combination. So let's see how this goes. And remember, we have no more of that wing combo anymore. Okay, not too bad. Oh, it's really hard to not drift now. All right, let's try to stay straight. Stay straight. There we are. So the challenge is going to be making this car look good again once we have all the changes that we want. Oh, man. So, wow, once we get into this, it's really hard to straighten back out. So, I don't know. Wings might... They may be useful. I just don't know yet. All right, let's try this again. There we go. That was decent. That was actually really decent. All right, let's see if we can go around. All right, turn again. Yes, that was good. Oh. Okay, so now let's try it the other way around. And why did I just repair without the front of my... What is... Repair. No, repair every... So now let's see how that compares to if we reverse this. So we're going to put the racing wheels in the back and the standard wheels in the front. So now I'm predicting that on tarmac, this is going to be worse. But perhaps on dirt, this could be pretty good. We'll try dirt after this. Oh, wow. That was not an expected result. This is actually... Is this more drifty? I don't know. Let's try it again. I think this is actually more drifty. With the racing wheels in the back, the problem is I can't get my traction back to steer into the skid. Let's try that again, or steer into the drift, rather. Oh, actually, that one wasn't too bad. Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. Okay. Whoops. There's a potential upside to having the combination of wheels, and that is, I think I can go over both dirt and tarmac now. So let's head over to some dirt and see what the dirt has to say about our drifting. And with the suspension, our car is so much more durable, I say as I lose a bunch of pieces. But, oh boy, this is bad. Oh. The dirt is like you can't not drift on this. There is no way this works, like, at all. Like, all right, I'm gonna try to turn around and go straight back the way we came. That's all. I'm just trying to... Yeah, this is what happens. Because remember, we're completely rear-wheel drive. So we have... wait, are we completely rear-wheel? Wait, no, hold on a sec. Something's happening in the front here. Oh, no. Our engine settings got reset. This whole time, I've been four-wheel drive. That changes things. All right, let's go back to rear-wheel drive. Okay, so now we should be rear-wheel drive only. Let's see what this does. Yeah, okay, look at this. I can't even go anywhere here. All right, so now let's see how rear-wheel drive only affects our drifting. I'm actually really disappointed that I didn't notice, because I put it rear-wheel drive in the last video, but there might have been an issue with saving the vehicle and having the settings get reset. And actually, that's kind of weird. With rear-wheel drive only on tarmac like this, we seem to not be able to drift anymore. So rear-wheel drive only may not be the best. Yeah, see, we're having trouble. We're having a lot of trouble until we get onto the dirt there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the front engine here, which has low acceleration but high top speed. I'm going to put that one as the only front-wheel drive engine. So we're going to have a little bit of front-wheel drive, but not a lot of power in the front. Okay, yeah, we seem to have trouble drifting now on the tarmac. So we have way more power in the back than in the front. And I'm curious now how changing the front and rear wheels will do. Oh, there we go. This doesn't feel as good as it did with all-wheel drive, to be honest. So let's try switching these up again. All right, so now we should have less traction in the back, but more power. So that makes a lot of sense for drifting to me. Let's see what happens. All right, turn. That was so easy. That was amazingly easy. I have a feeling that this thing would not work on dirt now, though. All right, I'm just gonna raise. Oh, hey, look at that. There's my other car. Ooh, got a little bit of lag on that one. It was hard to see what actually happened. All right, let's try this again. This is feeling so much better. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Wait a minute. Oh, I just realized. This is so weird that worked the way it did. Because you know what just happened? The engines are mapped not to the wheel location, but the wheel itself. I didn't think about this because I'm used to like scrap mechanic thinking where the engines are mapped to the bearing and the wheels are separate from the bearing, but this is not that. What's happening now is we have mostly front wheel drive. And the only thing that's going on with the rear wheel drive is this front engine up here. Because when I moved the wheels, it moved the rear wheels to the front and they kept the power from the engines. And I wasn't thinking along those lines, so I totally overlooked that. All right, so we have to remap these engines and back again. That's really weird that we were drifting so effectively with mostly front wheel drive though. That's not what I would expect. Okay, here we go. Rear wheel drive, normal wheels and back. Okay, this is very, very strange. Way worse. Way worse. Yeah, because you should want the rear wheels to be spinning out essentially, but it's not really working that well with rear wheel drive for whatever reason. All right, come on. Come on. Come on. Yeah, see, that doesn't work at all. So I'm going to go back to all-wheel drive and see how that compares. All right, so here's all-wheel drive now, and it is already feeling a lot better. Let's try this turn here. Hey, look at that. That was pretty good. Oh, now we have no more traction. No more traction in the dirt. Ah. All right, I think I'm just going to stick to all-wheel drive then, because all-wheel drive versus front-wheel drive doesn't seem that different, but rear-wheel drive is just bad. And all-wheel drive is just easier to manage, because whenever we change anything with the wheels or the engines, they just get power. All right, so here we go for comparison. We're going to start with the front racing wheels, take a drift around this corner, and see how it feels. That felt really, really good. All right, and then here we go with racing wheels on the back. Let's see what happens. Okay, so I'm not trying to do that anymore. It does donuts like crazy. I'm really torn because although it drifts so much more effectively, I can't control it. Versus taking a little bit more effort to get into the drift and then being able to pull out of it. Like, basically, do we want to be able to pull out of a drift easier or get into a drift easier? You know what? I have an experiment here. With this one, since the back has so little traction right now, why don't we try adding a spoiler and see if that changes things? Actually, I like it. I think we just solved it. I think this is the best one now. This is amazing. Ho ho ho. Yeah, oh, we lost it there. All right, we're stepping closer and closer to our dream drift car. Let's go back to the comments and see what else you guys are suggesting. All right, so from Trippy Torch here, it says we should increase the steering angle and put stiffer suspension, which is, we've already done the stiffer suspension. So let's try a steering angle. I saw multiple people comment that. So let's increase it, let's double it. Let's go to 60. Oh, that's actually kind of extreme, isn't it? Oh, no, that's, no, we don't need 60. Let's go from 30 to 45. I think 45 is a good medium. All right, and, okay, maybe a little bit too much. I don't know yet. I really don't know. I'm still not sure how I feel about the 45-degree steering angle. It feels too much now, like it's too difficult. All right, here we go, coming in fast. Okay, that wasn't so bad. Oh, we just hit the dirt there. So I'm wondering if maybe if I double up the spoiler in the back, if that might help me get some more traction on the way out. I don't know. Let's figure it out. We don't need these anymore. We're not using the wings. They're unnecessary now. All right, there we go. We double up the back spoiler. It looks better anyway. Now let's see how this feels. Oh, dang it. All right, here goes nothing. That felt really good. Keep it together, keep it together. Oh, let's pretend I meant to do that. All right, the problem though is it's really hard to stay straight once you come out of the drift. I don't think the extra spoiler in the back is making that much of a difference, but aesthetically, I think it makes a huge difference. So I'm gonna keep it for now. All right, so I think 45 degrees may have been too much. So let's just do it by a little bit from 30 to 35 degrees. And I think that might make it so that it's not gonna be too extreme of a difference, but it'll be a little bit easier to get that drift initiated. But yeah, it is really hard to come back out of it. We'll see. Let's go look for some more suggestions, see if anything else helps us out. Okay, after scrolling through tons and tons more comments, I'm seeing just a lot of the same things we've already tried, just in different combinations. I don't think I've seen anything that we haven't adjusted yet. So now I think it's just a matter of fine-tuning and figuring out what is the optimal combination of all these different factors. So let's get to it, and I'll see you at hopefully the optimal drift car. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final product. I did a lot of tweaking. I changed some colors to represent that it's a new car. It's been rebirthed into something better. And the things I've changed, I've raised the rear spoiler. It's more of an aesthetic move. It doesn't really affect that much as far as the drifting goes. I've changed the dampening of the suspension. I tried the maximum, I tried the minimum, and lower actually seemed to help a lot with getting out of the drift for some reason. So the dampening on the suspension is actually lower. And I've also adjusted the engine to wheel ratio so that only a few engines are going to the rear wheels while all the engines are going to the front wheels. So it has a stronger drive in the front than in the back, which seems to really, really help with the drifting, and especially getting out of the drift as well. So we're still pretty much just as drifty as we were before, but it's slightly easier now to kind of maintain a straight trajectory after we've gotten out of the drift. So now all that's left to do is to show you how this thing works. I'm loving the way it looks now. So I'm just gonna start the race, and we're just gonna do a couple laps, and let's see if I can actually maintain the drift. There is some skill involved too. You can do it poorly, even though the car is kind of set up for it. Oh, and the lag doesn't help at all. So let's try to restart that. All right. So as I was saying, there are ways to do it poorly, but oh, come on. There we go. We pulled out of it. As you can see, the getting stuck in the drift. Look at that. We're able to pull out of it without oversteering and then getting stuck in like a drift the other direction. So I can kind of do like little, oh, there we go. Like that's what I was talking about. That still can happen, obviously, but it's much easier now to pull out of it rather than just getting stuck in that loop of loops. Yeah, so it just takes a really subtle touch to get into the drift, and then you can kind of start steering into the skid after you've done it. Oh, no, I don't want to be on this page. But yeah, so we can do donuts, no problem. Back and forth. All right, there we go. See, we're steering into the drift and maintain it. Oh, that was good. Almost lost it there, but we maintained it. All right, so now the crazy thing is dirt. This thing is, it's just absolutely insane on dirt. So let me take you over to the dirt section and just show you how absolutely crazy the control of this thing is. All right, and the good thing is, as well, this thing, oh, there goes an engine, but it's much less fragile. I'm not saying it isn't fragile. Oh, here we go. We're in the dirt now. Here, let me repair, get all of our engine power back. And now we're just gonna have absolutely, like, all right, I'm just gonna go straight. Yeah, I didn't even press any turning keys there. All right, here we go. I'm gonna go straight. I'm just gonna press W. Nothing else other than W. Oh, yeah, you can see just how little traction we have on dirt. It's just virtually impossible, but at least we can like drive because our front wheels have a lot of traction on dirt. But yeah, our rear wheels, which is where all the weight is as well, just have absolutely nothing. So once you hit dirt, you just lose all control. I'm gonna try to drive slowly now. I'm just gonna try to drive slowly out of here. I'm gonna try to drive to the beginning of the drag race here. Yeah, okay, I'm turning to the, all right. Yeah, this is just insanity. Okay. No, maintain it. Oh, no, not quite. I feel like, you know, I'm a fish out of water here. You just can't control yourself whatsoever. All right, let's try, I've never done a straightaway yet. Let's see if, I don't think we're going to be able to switch fast enough, but I kind of want to see if I can drift and then drift, like fishtailing down here. But I feel like we're going to do 180s instead. All right, let's see here. Yeah, I can't correct myself fast enough to really get out of that drift, unfortunately. Yeah, there's no way we're going to be able to fishtail down this. All right, so I'm going to say that this is a massive improvement over the first draft before I got your guys' help from the comments. So it's not often that I make a follow-up video using the feedback from the comments like this. But that's something that I might consider doing more often if this video does well. Now, there were a lot of really unexpected results with this one. I didn't think that front-wheel drive as opposed to rear-wheel drive was gonna be better than rear-wheel drive for drifting. I also didn't think that a rear spoiler was gonna be that helpful after reading some of your comments, but in this game it is. And I also wasn't thinking that the suspension was going to be that helpful. I thought like suspension was just going to make this thing really floppy compared to no suspension, but the suspension helped out too. So yeah, let me know what you'd like to see me try to do in Trailmakers for future videos. And maybe if I do terribly on the first run, we'll see what the comments say and do another one of these follow-up videos. Anyway, this has been ScrapMan, and I'll see you next time. Bye.